An astral projection is when you have an out-of-body experience, meaning you're out of your body is somewhere, and you are possessing the body, your spirit is possessing the body of another person. It is a phenomenon, it is something that happens, it crosses biblical, all other Hinduism, I can't think of the other one, Buddhism, quite a few other religions also mention it. It's in Greek, old school Greek lore, like a lot of other religions acknowledge it and have like some sort of rules for like, you really don't want to play with that unless it's an absolute necessity for something, because it's messy, it makes a mess in the spirit, and the Bible refers to it as unclean spirit. Now, when someone astral projects, they look exactly like the person that you recognize. They are fighting to overpower that person's mind and will. They're trying to impose their will on you and come off as normal by using most of your phrases, most of your things. You'll know they always have little tells, their body language, their movements, some of their, like a certain foot shuffle when they're, doing a certain thing, a certain snap, certain neck movements, certain facial twitches and tweaks that are distinct to the originator, to the original person. That's how I always know. So I am in no way encouraging you. I'm simply trying to make you aware of what happens in the world, what is going on in the world, what people are doing, so that you can recognize it when you see it. And I've been put onto it because an actual person in my, circle told me so-and-so wanted me to possess them. And it was a person that was married who I had already said no to. And I was like, he wanted to pay you so that he can possess your body and come at me because you're single. That's interesting because I already told him, no, you're married. That's fucked up. I'm sorry, pardon my language. That's a mess. But yes, that's what people do. In this economy, that is what people do. I'm not advising it once again because, and the Bible says when they get kicked out, they don't just, leave you. They don't forget your address, honey. They don't forget your address. So they're going to always be a problem for you, and you're going to always have to get stronger and stronger to keep them out. So, because they're going to come back with friends like, oh, let's have house party. So you gotta, you got some work to do if you have ever allowed that. Either willingly or unwillingly, it happens both ways, knowingly or unknowingly, but I would never recommend to knowingly do that. And they have their certain targets. The CIA has gone on record saying, we like people with trauma. They're our favorite. That's why they like to be at churches and stuff like that. It's their favorite little shopping cart because it's easy for them to control. When you open the door to allowing someone else into your driver's seat, like, come drive my car. A spirit that's stronger than that person is going to easily overpower you because that person has to overpower you to be in your driver's seat. Okay? They do this by creating pain, breakups. It happens when you break up with someone, divorce, death in the family, sickness, some sort of sickness. We all got COVID. We all got the COVID shot. Everybody gets sick when you get the COVID shot. Flu season. All kind of stuff. I know this is, hard to ingest. The dangers of doing such a thing is astronomical. It could lead you to forget who you are, leave you in a confused state, leave you in a position where you like are open to doing things that you would never normally do out of character. Like it leaves like a residue of the things that that person deals with that you never had an issue with. And it's hard to kick. Addictions like violence, all kind of stuff. And once again, the Bible calls it an unclean spirit, and it's like there's like a residue of consciousness. So like a person's consciousness is still ruling their body, but their spirit is somewhere else. So if you move something in this area, it affects what's going on in that area. She brought him to a pain point, and the point of tears, of remembering, and made it very vivid, and took him to a point where she can easily enter and push him back and make him kind of recoil and revert to that fetal position, like and I'm not smiling because I never knew. And now that I know, that movie is the movie was already brilliant, but my God, it is incredible. And then if you do this, they make you feel like you can never believe in God again, so that you can't close that door. I'm not sure if I mentioned that Jordan Peele movie. It's a good example of that. It's an exaggerated Hollywood dramatized version of that exact issue, where people, if I were you, and I think I told you, one of the people in my life, if I were you, I'd be with a different man every night. Like, ew, you're not me, and I would never do that. But anyhow, she literally said, I'd be dragging a different man in my bed every night. But in that movie, the protagonist was in the home, out of his comfort zone, and the mother was a therapist, which means she had a reason she wanted to explore his trauma. So it seemed normal for her to want to visit and bring up his pain, and so she brought him to a pain point. Make sure you trust yourself. When someone's actions don't align up with their personality, their normal personality, there's a reason. They're not quiet only around you. It's because they can't keep up the act. They can only mimic so much and so hard. They can't keep up the act, okay? All right. And sometimes they'll possess someone who looks enough like somebody so that they can fool your ass. Which is why I'm always posting where I'm at and where I'm not. I'm that weirdo who will let you know that ain't me. Don't do it. Don't buy into it. All right. So, because people have gone as far as to have a clone of my phone. All right? To make me seem like I'm somewhere I'm not. So that they can get their little mission moving. I don't know if my last video posted, so I'm just going to re-record it. The next Jordan Peele movie after Get Out was Us, where Jeremiah 29:11, I believe, was used. And it was saying, don't wonder why God doesn't hear you. And then, so there is no God for you anymore. We're stronger than him now. He's not listening to you anymore because you're a sinner. And then there's Sinners movie. And then there's a movie that I really want you to see. It's Sinners movie was, of course, about allowing things in. They use vampires, but you giving permission. They need your permission to come on in. Okay, they need the invitation to come in initially, and then they overpower you, and then it's basically over from there. But the second thing is, they can be fought back, but you need help. And the real movie that I really want you to see is Behind Her Eyes. It's on Netflix. It's not like a major production. I don't think it got a lot of views, but it is on Netflix if you want to watch it. I believe it's on Netflix now, but it's called Behind Her Eyes, and it is a perfect, and you'll see these little things of light or little things of dark, little dark looking things, and that's exactly, it's a dispossessed spirit looking to gain access, looking for an entry point. And once you allow them, they know how to pull those little levers, and they're around you and want to be, want access, and there's little pathways. So this is why the rush to Christianity and strengthening your bond with the Lord, all of that good stuff, so that you can fight. I want you to consider this before calling out someone's behavior, calling out someone's sexuality, because they do these things to embarrass people, to separate them, humiliate them. And when you're aware of it, you can walk with knowledge, grace, and mercy with people, because that's why I don't drink. I don't be getting high, because it creates those open doors. All right, y'all have a good day. Now that you have all the bits and pieces to the story, I think it puts everything in a much fight the powers that be.